Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1988 AN. Today's date is October 6th, 2019, and the title of the episode is The Economic Move is Being Done in the Shadows, Transition Economy Being Built. Now, before I get started, let's talk about retirement. Now, if you visit any of the great tourist spots in America, everything looks peachy. But look a little closer, and all is not well. You can't fail to notice an uptick in homeless and street people out there. That's how it started last time. The signs are all there, and this is happening again right now. But just like last time and the time before that, the stock market is way overvalued and wobbling. You need to put precious metal safety net of gold or silver under those savings to protect them. So talk to one of the specialists over at Noble Gold today. Click the link below to get the free gold guide or call 877-646-5347. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the central banks, the deep state, they're getting a little nervous about the BREXIT. And we can see that we're getting closer and closer to that day where Boris Johnson is going to push a no Brexit deal. And the EU, the other countries, they're getting a little bit nervous. Right now we have Macron. He's urging Johnson to discuss the Brexit. And they're saying, listen, before we reach that date, we need to talk about what we're going to do. We need to talk about how we can make a deal. Now, Boris Johnson, once again, he proposed what he wants. The EU, the elite, they decided, hey, we don't like that, even though it was part of their plan. Now, with 25 days to go until October 31st, the EU is out there, and one of their representatives said, no deal will never be the EU's choice. It doesn't have to be the EU's choice. It's the UK's choice. It's the people's choice. They had a referendum. The EU, they have no say in this. They want a deal. They want a deal that will benefit them. The people of the UK, they want something that will benefit them because they voted to get out of the EU. And the EU, the elite, the establishment, they know that once this happens, their entire system that they built is going to come crumbling down. And Boris Johnson is saying, listen, the United Kingdom will be packing our bags and walking out of the EU in 25 days. And he's absolutely right. Now, here in the United States, and not just the United States, but around the world, we're seeing the entire central bank global economic system completely implode on itself. And don't get me wrong, this system that we're in today, the central bank system, will implode. What people need to understand is that there are two things happening. Just like you didn't see it happen in the 60s, leading up to Nixon saying we're off the gold standard, most of the people are not seeing what Trump is doing right now, leading up to the transition. He is preparing the United States to transition out of this central bank system. Think about all the things that he has done with tax cuts, deregulation, removing the globalist trade deal, saying that globalists do not have a future in the up-and-coming economy. And when we look at the central bank system, we can see that it's completely imploding. I mean, if you look at retail, housing, and whatnot, you can see that there are major problems. And Friday we talked about how the millennials today, they need to put whatever they're purchasing on payment plans. Now, do I mean every single person? No, but the majority of the people, they are struggling. And this is what happens in a central bank system. It completely breaks down and the dollar is worth nothing. And that's why over the period of time, you've seen things change. Like if you're going to buy a car, or if you're going to go to college, if you're going to purchase a house, even if you're going to buy the everyday item in the store, you can see the everyday item in the store is now coming connected to payment plans. And that is just absolutely ridiculous. But it does make sense because when you look at the retail market, you can see the mall vacancies. They hit an 8-year high. There's a huge number of stores that are closing. And just in the year 2019, we have seen a record 11,000 plus store closures, already exceeding the annual number of the past few years with Coresight Research projecting the figure to touch an all-time high of 12,000 by the end of 2019. Think about that for a second. Think about how this entire central bank system is completely imploding on itself. And remember, Trump and the patriots, they're not just sitting by saying, okay, let all this crash. What they're doing is they're making specific moves to build this new economy. Think about it. The trade deals have been changed. The globalist system completely pushed to the side, destroyed. No longer will we be in a globalist system. Trump is deregulating. He's cutting taxes. He's placed tariffs on China to push companies out of China, maybe into other countries, hopefully back to the United States. But he needed to do this to even the playing field. What else did he need to do? He needed to pump up the minority employment numbers, which means unemployment needs to fall. And he has been doing this. Right now, the U.S. gained a net 181,000 jobs in the employment report. Minorities continue to benefit from the historically low unemployment. The unemployment rate, as we know, has been below 4% for 7 months in a row, and it's fallen to 3.5%. This is a 50-year low. African American unemployment remained at a record low of 5.5% in September. Hispanic unemployment fell to a record low of 3.9% in September. When Trump came into office, that unemployment rate was around 4.5%. Why is Trump doing this? Well, what he needs to do is he needs to bring the minorities into the picture, get them jobs, and build the lower middle class, the middle class back up. Wages for the middle class Americans are rising twice as fast as wages for high income earners. What is Trump doing? This is being done in the shadows, in stealth. He is closing the wealth gap. This dynamic is directly attached to Trump's transition economy policy that focuses wage and income benefit directly to Main Street production economy and reverses the process that was driving benefit to U.S. multinationals on Wall Street, the service-driven economy. Wage growth is currently strongest for workers in low-wage industries, such as clothing stores, supermarkets, amusement parks, casinos, and earnings are growing most slowly in high-wage industries, such as medical labs, law firms, broadcasting, and telecom companies. The reasoning is quite simple. There are many people attached to the Wall Street economy who ran up wealth via the process of deindustrialization of America. Anyone who gained income through the process of multinational export of investment and jobs, specifically U.S.-based multinationals, are naturally going to see negative impact as the reverse takes place. Multinational investment and asset held overseas are precariously positioned as the Trump's America First trade policy starts to get teeth. Any U.S. corporation who attempts to fight against the tariff process will find themselves expending a large amount of money while simultaneously losing the price advantage, and they will be simultaneously positioned to lose market share to U.S.-based or North American-based competition. This is why the USMCA becomes very, very important. Once the USMCA is ratified, and you can tell they don't even want to touch this right now, it gives U.S. multinationals a definitive long-term position from which they can calculate their costs. And right now, the multinationals, they're trying to keep prior Asia investments viable. However, the clock is ticking. Those unknown variables have a cost, and with the USMCA passed, guess what? They can calculate those costs. This is why Trump is pushing for this. And if you notice what he's doing, he's building the wages back up from the bottom, and he's closing the wealth gap. This needs to be done. Think about all the things that need to be done so we can transition into a strong, new, sound money economic system. This is why he's building all of this. This is why he's pushing the central bank system to the very edge. He needs the time to do this. And guess what? It is working. And as you can see, once the Brexit goes through and Trump makes the trade deal with the UK, boom. We're going to see other countries say, hey, you know something? Maybe we should do the same. The world is about to change. Trump and many other leaders are going to get on board, and they're all going to follow the same path. And we can see already things are changing. The transition is being prepped, it's being prepared, and soon it will be ready. And there will be an announcement, just like there was an announcement in 71. But this time it's not going to be we're coming off the gold standard because of speculators. This time it's going to be very, very different. And most likely the finger will be pointing at the central bank system. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.